tell me about when you saw the video.
I was at work last night. Excuse me. I was at work last night, and I saw my daughter go live, and it said police. Lavish is going live. So I tapped it. It was maybe about 9:30, 10 o'clock our time. And when I tapped it, it was buffering. And you could feel on the driver's side, it looked kind of reversed because of the way the cameras were. So you could see him on her right. And there was blood on his shirt. When it stopped buffering, I heard her say they shot him 4 times. Diamond had been streaming maybe 5 minutes by then. Just looking at the video and the police being so shaky and so afraid. He was shaking. You could see him shaking with this gun. And he was just screaming obscenities like F-bombs. He was dropping F-bombs. And he was screaming at my daughter. And she was being as calm as she could possibly be with a 4-year-old in the back saying, "Mommy, I'm here with you." Philando was a phenomenal young man. He had been on his job 15 years. He had been with my daughter on and off for 10 years. So he was like a staple in my family. Like, he was like a wart, you couldn't get rid of him. But we loved him. And now he's gone. It's surreal. I haven't been asleep. I haven't been able to find my daughter or my granddaughter. I've been calling all over the state of Minnesota. The police are not giving me any answers. So I'm taking the first flight to Minnesota that I was able to get. I don't know. I'm at my wit's end. I don't know. He was a great guy, and he definitely did not deserve to die like that.
You know, your granddaughter was in the car when
She
all
was
this
in the back
happened.
seat behind Philando. So what if, just what if, when that police officer shot him and that bullet went through that seat, my granddaughter could be dead too. What if Diamond had sneezed or fumbled with her phone because she was going live? He would have shot her. And it would be a travesty. Not to say that it's not already, but for me, life as I know it would have been over. I do have other children to live for. However, Diamond is one of my best friends. She's been with me the longest.
You know, she goes by Diamond, and just Lavish, her Facebook kind of thing.
She goes by Lavish. She wishes that I had named her Lavish.
Okay. I think everybody's referring to her as Diamond now in the media. That is her name.
Her name is Diamond Reynolds, and she's 26. She'll be 27 on July 14th. And Philando's birthday was a week after hers. And they had been planning this party for 2 months. And now she won't even be able to do it. She won't be able to do this without him. And my heart goes out to his mom and his sister, and it's especially my daughter and her daughter. It's a trying time.
Does his family live in Minneapolis? Then?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. His mother has 2 children, Philando and his sister, and he was the man.
And Diamond lived here for a year, but the two of them have always kind of been in Minneapolis. That's what she's
Yes, I lived in Minneapolis for 18 years. I took my children out of Chicago to give them a better chance at life, because Chicago, as we all know it, is not the best place to raise children. So I took them to Minnesota, and so that they can have a better chance at life. Only for this to happen. Only for this to happen. What are we supposed to do? How does she move on from this? How does my granddaughter move forward from this. She's 4. She's 4.
I can't believe she witnessed it. I mean, she's at an age where she can remember this stuff.
Diana, and I call her Chocolate.
It's Diana, though?
Her name is Diana. DAE apostrophe ANNA. Again, I call her Chocolate because I love her. She's smarter than any 30-year-old and can have a far better conversation, very articulate, enunciates her words than any adult that I've ever encountered. Diana will be scarred for life. There's not enough counseling that can be handed down that's going to make this child whole. What do we do? Where do we go from here? How do we stop this senseless violence? Philando told him, I have a licensed firearm. He told him. And when the police asked for his ID and he reached for it, he shot him. But they're on administrative leave. That man can never go home to his family. But these officers get a mini vacay paid at the expense of another person's life.
Was Philando the father of Chocolate?
No.
Not that it matters, but just to connect.
He was the closest thing to a father. Chocolate does have a dad. Awesome guy. He lives in Chicago. But in Minnesota, and Diamond being in a relationship with Philando, he stepped up like none other. If he ate, Diana ate. If he bought a shoestring, Diana got 2 pair of shoes. And that's just the kind of man he was. He took care of his mother, his sister, his girlfriend, her daughter, and he touched every life he came across.
What did he do for a living?
He worked at the school cafeteria for 15 years.
Like at elementary school or middle school?
I want to say it was a high school.
Okay. In Minneapolis?
In Minneapolis, in St. Paul.
Okay.
Because Minneapolis and St. Paul are the twin cities. Mm-hmm. And he worked in St. Paul as like a dietary specialist. And he worked there for 15 years. He never had a record. He's never been in any gangs. Like, he was totally one of the good ones.
Why do you think your daughter recorded? I mean, she went to her phone. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, it's her avenue to communicate.
Diamond is a narcissistic Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat junkie. She loves her. She loves life. And she wants to record it. She wants to capture it. And she wants people to see things through her eyes. Diamond has a different way of looking at the world. See, through Diamond's eyes, people are good. Through Diamond's eyes. And I try not to derail that train. I try to show them that everybody isn't like the next person. You can't judge one person by what the next person does. And Diamond's just, she dances to her own beat, and she's lavish.
I mean, it's good she recorded it. That's why we're here.
Absolutely. I used to tell Diamond all the time, you take 50,000 selfies. You probably post 20 million posts in 2 minutes. She will bump Jesus off the timeline. And I would tell her all the time, you gotta stop posting so much. So she would block me off of Facebook. You don't wanna see it, I'm gonna block you. She would block me. But then she would bring me back on because, again, Diamond wants everybody to see life through her eyes. And this fatal day, I'm so glad that she didn't listen to me. And she turned to live. Because had Diamond not recorded that incident, the media, as no disrespect to the journalists, but the media picks and chooses the things of which they want to tell, and they make it into something that it's not. But when you have a video from start to finish, there is no discrepancies on what happened, because the truth is what it is. Go.
What do you think we can learn from this? I mean, it's an obvious question, but where do we go from here? And you even asked us, what is it? What should be done here?
You know, I believe that not only Black lives matter, but I believe all lives matter. See, because I don't see color, I see people. And I honestly believe that if the police force were not trained to hate us, if they were not trained to feel like we are a threat to them, I feel like these officers all around the world, not just in Minnesota, not just in Indianapolis, not just in Baton Rouge, not just in the places that you guys show, but just in this world as a whole, if people were secure with themselves as people, if you are comfortable in your own skin and you don't take your job as seriously, I'm not saying don't do your job effectively, don't do your job efficiently, because we raise our kids to believe that the police are here to protect us. But I have a 4-year-old granddaughter who will beg to differ. What do I teach her? How do I teach her to move on? How do I teach her to forgive? How do I teach her to trust? How do I teach her to love? You know what I'm saying? Other than love herself, because we love ourselves, but we're living in a world of hate, and I'm not understanding it. And your question was, what is the lesson that we've learned? See, I learned my lesson back when Eric Garner got killed, back when they beat Rodney King. You know, I learned my lesson. I stay under the radar. I do what I'm supposed to do, and I keep it moving. The question should be, what did the police learn? How will they change their course of action? How will they restructure and retrain their officers to see people and not color? I could be green with spots on my face. Does that make me a bad person? No, it makes me green with spots on my face. It doesn't make me any less human. It just makes me different. And when has being different been a crime? When has it been punishable by death? When somebody can tell me where this happened, where we made this horrible, horrible right turn, put me on the right track so I can go back, so I can do it over. He's not my child, but I loved him as if he were. There's a spot in me that's void now. What do we do? Will the police be penalized? Probably not. Will they sweep it under the rug? Act like it never happened? Absolutely. Why? I don't know. I'm still looking for the answer myself.
He was still in his seatbelt.
He was still in his seatbelt. How do you shoot a person?
4 times.
4 times. I can see you hit him in his leg. Bam, hit him in his leg. But all up and through here with a child in the back, I know the police saw that child. I know he saw him. How would he feel if it was him in the car with his wife and his child? Would he sleep at night? Because I bet you he didn't miss a wink of sleep last night.
So you've been trying to get a hold of Diamond, and obviously she's okay. You've seen the updated videos, but she is.
They destroyed her phone because of the video. You can clearly see on one of the videos where Diana picked up Diamond's phone. And Diamond told her, bring the phone here. You can hear it. And the police said, oh, is that your phone? And then it went black. And I have not spoken to my daughter. I've called every police station between Oakdale, Minnesota, and Richfield, Minnesota. That's a broad span. And nobody has been able to tell me anything. They say, oh, we released her and we dropped her off at home. Well, anybody who knows the state of Minnesota and the police, they know that they don't do drop-offs. They just do pickups.
So you're going to go to Minneapolis. You're going to see her. You're going to be there for your granddaughter. I mean, right now the plan is just to be there. And
that is definitely the plan, to be the protector, the mother bear, to protect my cubs. That is certainly my plan. However, I'm going in peace. I am going in peace. I'm not going on no disturbance type of situation. But you please believe that I am prepared for whatever may come. I am a woman of faith, and I depend solely upon God. And I know that my God is a provider, He's a protector, and no weapon formed against us shall prosper.
is there anything else I should ask you? I mean, we could talk, I mean, it's just, I hate that I'm here and this is what we're talking about. I'm just trying to make sure.
I wish that we had met under better circumstances. You seem like an awesome, phenomenal person.
Thank you.
I just want to say to the police, from Maine to Spain, from the moon and back, if you just take a step back and remember why you enlisted in being a police officer,
They took that oath.
and how you took the oath to serve and protect. I want you to step back, and I want you to look at this and just think, it could have been me. It could have been my mother, my brother, my sister. It could have been anybody. You have inflicted pain upon so many people around the globe that you would never know, because you're sitting at home on paid administrative leave, drinking beers and being with your family. And here we are doing news conferences, planning funerals, and trying to determine the next best course of action. So my thing would be to say, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. And with that, I'm done.